Cooking food is a vital part of Core Keeper as it not only fills up your hunger bar, it can also provide various buffs. While it is very easy to cook food, there are some common mistakes that come along with it, and chances are you might be making them right now without even knowing it. So in this video, I'll cover the 5 most common mistakes players make when cooking and eating food in Core Keeper. Let's get started. Before we take a look at the 5 most common mistakes that people make while cooking and eating food in Core Keeper, let's quickly talk about how cooking food works in the game. So the way it works is you have to combine 2 ingredients, either 2 of the same or 2 different ingredients in a cooking pot, and combining them will give you a different type of cooked food. So as an example, we'll just quickly take a look at the mushrooms. So eating a mushroom for me will give me 9 food and 2.1 health every second for 20 seconds. If I combine it with a heartberry, it's going to give me 28 food, 25 max health for a set amount of time, and 4.2 health for 26 seconds. And the first one I will look at, the first mistake is that I see people making, and it's one that I made honestly at the beginning because I didn't really even realize it, is combining 2 of the same food. So as an example here, the mushy mushroom soup is combining 2 mushrooms together. And what you're going to notice is while it does give me more food and it does give me more health, as you can see here, it basically doubles up, it's only giving me 2 buffs. Combining a mushroom with pretty much everything else in the game is going to give you 3 buffs. As an example, combining them with the heartberry is going to give you the food, the health, plus the max health. Combining it with the glow tulip is going to give you the food, the health over time, plus the glow. So combining the same foods together is going to give you the least amount of buffs. So it's in your best interest to not do that. Of course, at the beginning of the game, if you have limited resources, you have limited different ingredients, and it's the only options you have, it's going to be better than eating them separately. But as soon as you end up getting different crops, having a little farm setup, I recommend not combining 2 of the same of any type of food, whether it be mushrooms or any of the fish you catch or anything. Do not combine them with themselves because you're just not going to get the best bang for your buck. The second common mistake I see people making is combining foods that give the same buffs. So each food, when you cook it, is going to give different buffs. As an example, if we look at the bomb pepper, cooking a bomb pepper, one of the things it's going to give, you're going to notice, is it's going to give movement speed. There is another food that you can cook that also gives movement speed. So we'll scroll down here to the Spirit Vel, which is a fish that you can catch up in, I believe it's Azos' Wilderness. Yeah, it's right here. Cooking this fish is also going to give you movement speed. Now, this is going to give you more movement speed than the bomb pepper. So combining the two doesn't really have much benefit because you're going to end up getting more movement speed by combining the Spirit Vel with any other food in the game. So if you end up cooking foods together, and you're gonna see these with other things such as the carrot and the gem crab, they both give armor, but the carrot gives more armor. There's fish and there's foods in the game. There's regular food ingredients that give the same buffs. Do not combine those together because you're gonna end up not getting the full benefit. It's best just to avoid that and combine them with different foods. The third common mistake I see people making when combining foods in the cooking pot is combining foods that do not provide complementary buffs. What I mean by that is combining foods whose buffs don't work together. So as an example, the devil worm, what that does is it's going to give you increased range damage. And as an example, I just cooked 2 different foods. So first I combined it with the teal palace fish. The teal palace fish provides plus 4% ranged attack speed. So that goes really well with the plus 22.8% range damage. However, I also combined it with the pink palace fish, and that gives you 22.8% range damage, but also gives you plus 4% melee attack speed. The melee attack speed doesn't really benefit the range damage, because if I was eating this food, I would be probably going for a range damage build, and therefore this other food here would be a better option. Now, along the same lines is eating 2 foods that provide the same buffs. So as an example, if I eat these 2 foods here, the devil palace fish and the pink worm fish, you might think, well, wow, if I eat both of them, I'm going to get the 22.8% range damage plus the 22.8% range damage, which means I'm going to have, what is that, 45.6% range damage. That's not the case. So what we'll do is we'll eat this, then we'll eat this one. And you're going to notice here that I have the range damage is going to be right here. It's only 22.8. So they do not stack. As I mentioned earlier, the buffs do not stack. You're only going to get one of them. So not only does it not work for combining 2 foods together, it doesn't work if you eat 2 different foods. So what you want to end up doing is try to eat as many. If you're going to eat more than 1 food, try to eat foods that give you different buffs so you're not ending up wasting the buffs, such as this case where I did not get the 45.6% range damage. I only got the 22.8, and I basically ended up wasting one of the foods I just consumed. And then the 5th and final mistake I see people making while combining or eating foods is eating foods that are providing buffs that you're not taking advantage of. So as an example here, we have the orange cave guppy. Now, when you combine this with any other food in the game, it's going to give you plus 8 mining damage for some amount of time, depending on what your skill level is. Now, if you're not mining, there's really no reason to eat this food. Why would you eat it? Because it's not providing you any benefit. Same thing with the rockjaw. The rockjaw, if we click on this, the rockjaw is going to give me plus 15.9% melee damage. If I'm using a ranged build or I'm not fighting anything at all, this is not providing me any buff here. I'm basically wasting the buff. Now, like I've said before, if it's the only food you have, that's fine, eat them. But once you end up having a stockpile of food and you're looking to get the best bang for your buck from your food, get the most out of your foods, make sure you're taking advantage of them, looking in the cookbook, see what they're providing, and eating the foods that are going to be working not only together, but also with what you're doing in the game. If you're mining, yes, eat the orange K-Buffy fish. If you're using melee attack, sure, the rockjaw foods might be beneficial. But if you're using a ranged attack, this wouldn't help you out. And if you're not mining at all, there's no reason to eat this. So those are the 5 most common mistakes that I see people making when cooking or eating foods in Core Keeper. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Here's another one you might find helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.